Well, we are here at the Milken Institute Global Conference 2025. I'm Christopher Gialanella, the present publisher of Los Angeles Magazine, Orange Coast Magazine, and Pasadena Magazine.
Wow.
And I am here with one very special guest, Mayor Karen Bass. What an honor to be in your presence.
Thank you. Thank you. The honor is mine.
Thank you for being here. And she's also a cover star of Los Angeles Magazine from March of 2022.
Very first cover ever.
Yeah. So we have Paris Hilton, Selma Blair,
All right,
and now Karen Bass.
company.
She's in great company. So I asked you a couple questions.
Sure.
And, you know, obviously a lot of our readers, a lot of Angelinos have a lot of things on their mind and things that they want to know. So I have a couple fun questions for you. And I have a couple questions about what's going on in the city. But tell us something about you that people don't know.
Well, I think a lot of people think I've been an elected official forever.
Right.
But I've had many lives, one of which was in the healthcare field.
Okay.
So I was a nurse. I worked in the neonatal ICU with the little preemie babies. And then I was a physician assistant working in the emergency room at County Medical Center in the trauma unit.
Wow.
And that really does inform a lot of what I'm doing, especially in regard to the unhoused population.
Right, well that's amazing. And you grew up in Los Angeles.
Born and raised Angelina.
Where we went to Hamilton High School.
I did.
Where my wife works, right? And you went to USC, so you are Angelino through and through.
Through and through, and was even affiliated with UCLA as a policy fellow.
I was gonna say, USC, UCLA.
That's right.
That's amazing. See, we can all get along together well, right?
That's right, we can.
So, what do you love to do in Los Angeles? Like, if somebody said, Mayor Bass, where's the best place to get Italian food? What would you tell them?
Oh gosh, I would say Marino's on Melrose.
Ooh, okay.
But what I love to do in LA, like if you told me I had the rest of the day off,
Right.
then I would be on my bicycle on the bike path at the beach.
Oh, I love
That's my favorite.
The bike path from, is it Manhattan Beach through Marina Del Rey,
no, from
Santa Monica?
From Washington Boulevard to Will Rogers.
Oh,
Yeah,
I gotta
it's a
try
nice
that.
Ride.
All
And
right,
it's all
so-
flat.
I gotta take my bike out. I'm more of a hike. I like hiking.
I see.
I'm more of the gym. That's kind of my
Uh-huh.
to do. But we live
I
in
like
LA.
the
We're
gym, too.
outdoors.
That's right.
That makes the most sense.
That's right.
So, what book can we find on your night table?
Oh, you know what book I have been reading is a book written by Xavier Slawski about
Okay.
Los Angeles.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's a very great history, especially most of the history I remember, but hearing about the city from his perspective has been a fascinating read, but also very educational and informative for me.
Wow, I love history of LA books. I really
Yes.
do. I love hearing about the Doheny family and all these different families that took, you know, what went on in LA back in like the late 1800s.
That's right.
And I always say, and if I could ever go on Fantasy Island, which was a TV show in the 70s, I'd love to come back to LA in like the 40s or 50s to see like, I want to go to Chasen's, I want to go to the
Yeah.
Brown Derby, I want to like experience LA from that generation, like Lucille Ball days.
That's right.
That'd be kind of
That's
fun.
right. It would be,
I don't know.
absolutely.
That's kind of fun. Okay, so you asked about the restaurants. So we had you on the cover of LA Magazine back in 2022.
Yes.
How did that
seems so
go?
long ago. Well, first of all, it was the first time anyone ever asked me to be on the cover of the
What?
magazine, so I was nervous.
Okay.
I just wanted everything to be right.
Well, you look great.
Well, thank you.
And you made us very proud. So
Thank you.
you were also one of our Women of the Year last year when we had Kris Jenner on our cover.
Uh-huh.
So that was exciting as
That
well.
was,
So
absolutely.
yeah. So we have the Olympics coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So how is the city prepping for the Olympics in terms of infrastructure and equity?
Well, first of all, before the Olympics, we have the warm-up, which is
Yes.
in 14 months, the World Cup. And
Yes.
so it allows us to get everything in order and practice. And so one of the things that we're doing is really to lift up the spirit in the city. We kicked off Shine LA. We want
Yes.
to do once a month around the city, everybody come together and do something to beautify, improve the city, planting trees. We have people painting in school, all sorts of activities. So I want to mirror the spirit we had when we won the World Series.
Yes.
200,000 people out in front
Oh.
of LA City Hall, but we're also doing other major infrastructure projects like the People Mover at the airport, the renovation that is going on at the airport, the extension of the metro line, all of those projects that are going on in addition to the basic city services that we need to take care of.
Absolutely. It's so interesting. I mean, we went through really tough time with the fires.
That's right.
And obviously, a lot of people lost a lot, their homes, their their livelihoods. But I always felt like the city came together. I
Mhm.
feel like
Mhm.
there was a spirit, and
That's
I think
right.
everybody really molded together, and it didn't matter if you were rich or poor or whatever
Right.
side of the fence you sided with politics.
Right.
So it was really a nice time, I think, for Angelinos to really be here in the city during that time.
Well, and I remember other times, whether it was the civil unrest or 2 years later, the earthquake, but certainly after a massive, massive disaster and tragedy, the trauma that thousands of people went through. You go to work in the morning and you have nothing to come home to. The children who lost their schools and their homes. The teenagers that went through COVID in middle school, and now we're going through this displacement in high school.
I mean,
So there's lots of trauma. We're moving along as fast as we could, but that doesn't mean trauma moves along. That emotional distress and grief that people are going through continues.
I agree.
But my job is to try to make the rebuilding as quick, as fast as possible, with no roadblocks, and not having the traditional city bureaucracy be in the way.
Right, and also I think mental health, and you have your MSW as well.
Mhm.
I think that's so important. Obviously, for what people have gone through, they definitely need help. And we at Los Angeles Magazine had a food drive. We rented out a space with all these donations, and people came. Sometimes they came just to talk.
Right.
You know, everybody needed a sort of a platform to talk on, which I thought was remarkable.
Right, and we opened up a disaster recovery center in which we tried to fill it up with every agency you could imagine, from the DMV, the passport
Right.
office, you know, FEMA, and we had people come in. We saw over 9,000 people. And sometimes people would come in and decompensate. It was just too overwhelming. The traumatic loss, and then coming into this office with all of these, you know, places to go. But we had mental health support right there on the spot.
Yeah.
So we could take the person that was going into a crisis and move them into an area that was safe and quiet.
I love that. I love that. You know, and there's also, you know, families moved all over the city, and I think it's
Right.
interesting because people are experiencing another part of LA that maybe they didn't know existed before.
That's
Which is
right.
kind of unique. So this is a question from my son Luke, who
Uh-huh.
is a sophomore at Boston University. He loves politics.
Uh-huh.
He started a nonprofit called GovLearn
Uh-huh.
to educate young kids about politics. So he had a question for you when I told him this morning about our interview.
Sure.
His question was, how has the new administration changed the way Los Angeles is interacting with the federal government?
Well, you know, so far it's been minimal change, but I will say, because I did serve 12 years in Congress,
Yes.
needless to say, my ties to the Biden administration were very close. But also I have close ties to the Trump administration as well, because he has appointed a number of my former colleagues. So I would say that that's getting established now versus the Biden administration I served during that time. So I think they're underway. I feel positive about it so far. And frankly, one of the reasons why we're so far ahead of other fighters is because the Trump administration has supported the efforts in the Los Angeles area.
I think a lot of people don't realize that, so
Right.
thank you for sharing that with
Well,
us.
you know, the first and second phase where you're removing the hazardous materials and removing the debris, that's controlled by the federal government,
Right.
along with state and county support, of course. But if we hadn't been given tremendous resources, we would be in a whole nother place than we are right now.
I agree. Do you feel with the tariffs on filming outside of the U.S. is going to help Hollywood?
No. No, now let me just tell you,
Okay.
I want all filming to happen in Los Angeles, but given
Right.
that it won't, you know, a number of our companies are going overseas to film.
Right.
And the last thing they need is more taxes. We're
Right.
trying to give tax relief, not
Yeah.
a tax burden. So I don't know right now. I mean, we're still waiting to see. I don't know that anybody has seen anything in print.
Exactly.
And until we see something in print, we're just kind of speculating. I just hope that we're not going to hurt our own companies.
Me too. So you've got a beautiful family. You have
Thank
five children, and you have some grandchildren.
Right, 3.
Okay. So what do you love to do with them when you're not working?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm getting ready to take my 3 grandsons, well 2, because one is only 1 year old, to see Annie. To see the play, Annie.
Wow. I remember the first time I saw Annie. I think Andrea McCardle, and if you remember her, she played Annie
Oh,
in New York
really?
back in the 80s or 70s.
Mhm.
That's exciting.
Yes.
Good. Well, anyway, Mayor Bass, thank you so much for your time. Always an honor to see you. Thanks for representing LA in the best light possible.
Well, and thank you for a great magazine.
Oh, thank
that
you.
Everybody reads.
Oh, well, you know, we've been around since 1962.
Oh.
Jeff Miller started it back in Beverly Hills.
Oh, wow.
And the legacy is continuing, so I'm
very
proud to be a
positive way.
part of it, for sure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Stay tuned, guys.